It's time for your statewide Alabama weathercast.
Good afternoon, I'm meteorologist Drew McCombs with the Alabama Weather Network, and this is your statewide forecast update. And we've got clear skies across a good portion of the eastern and southeastern portion of the state, some scattered clouds across the western and northern part of the state, and then you've had a couple of showers in kind of the western part of the state over the last several hours. Nothing super heavy or anything like that, but it's been nice to get a few sprinkles or maybe even a little bit of a heavier shower in a few spots. Looking a closer look at the high-res radar here, you can see maybe a few little heavier showers in the southern part of Pickens County over the last hour or so. Same thing down in parts of Greene County, moving into Sumter County as well, and then a few up and towards Lamar, a few down in Choctaw. So really, again, these have been moving pretty fast, falling apart pretty quickly. Nothing significant, but doesn't hurt to get a little sprinkle here and there when you've got a pretty dry pattern in place. Places like Florence hadn't really seen much. It looks like blue skies there. It's 82 degrees, a little bit of a breeze out of the east-southeast at 10 miles per hour. Expect to have a little bit more of a breeze in place over the next couple of days as we get an air mass starting to move in from the east-northeast with a high pressure moving down. So that'll be kind of a theme for the next couple of days. Tuscaloosa looks nice. It's 85 degrees looking over the campus of the University of Alabama. Some blue skies there. Dew Point not too bad, with humidity not too bad, and get a little bit of a breeze there as well. Occasional gust around 17 miles an hour. Down in Dozier, it's 84 degrees. Dew Point not too bad at 62 degrees. Maybe starting to get a little bit of that dry air starting to push in. Wind is currently calm, but again, we expect especially that southern and southeastern part of the state to get a pretty good breeze here over the next couple of days. And Orange Beach looking beautiful as it has typically looked here recently. Lots of blue skies, really nothing to see out there outside of a few clouds, and it's 80 degrees and with a good breeze out of the west around 10 miles per hour. So what we're watching for the rest of today and this week, highs will stay in the 80s, but they'll be lowering a little bit over the next several days so that we may only see low 80s in many spots, even upper 70s in a couple of locations, especially in the northern part of the state. We'll see cooler nights, and so those will be pretty comfortable, and then showers will remain scarce. Again, could have a few isolated showers here, but really Thursday and Friday look very, very dry, and we don't expect to see hardly any showers at all, but we see an uptick in rain chances as we get later on into the weekend, early next week, especially in South Alabama. Temperatures right now, we're looking at 80s across pretty much the entire state. It's 87 degrees in Birmingham, it's 88 in Selma, so we've hit upper 80s in many spots, maybe not quite 90 degrees in most spots, but 84 degrees in Anniston, a little bit cooler in Dothan as well, around 83 degrees. We expect for tonight to get down into generally the 60s, but some spots could hit upper 50s already. 59 degrees possible in Coleman, around 60 degrees in Gadsden, so close to those upper 50s readings already in the eastern and northeastern part of the state and even southeastern part of the state. A little bit warmer further towards the west, and as you get closer to the coast, may only be upper 60s there. Forecast highs for tomorrow will be kind of similar to today, but we'll start to see a little bit of a back down in the readings, especially to the east, as this dry air mass starts to push in and slightly cooler air mass. So maybe only 80 degrees in Auburn, 81 in Eufaula, mid to upper 80s still possible further toward the west, and especially the southwest, and even up in Florence could get up to about 86 degrees. So warmer on the west-hand side, a little bit cooler on the east-hand side. It's a thing that we've seen in recent times here and there. Futurecast, you can see again that you've got maybe a few showers starting to push out of the state as we get through the rest of the evening, then dry, and really the state stays mostly dry for the next couple of days after that. We're looking at Thursday afternoon. You see hardly a cloud in the sky. The showers are mainly confined to the Mississippi Gulf Coast. As we get into Friday, kind of more of the same, maybe a few more clouds moving in from the southeast and kind of in parts of the southern part of the state. And there could be an isolated shower or two in Mobile or Baldwin counties, but we expect really the vast majority of the state to stay dry during that time period. Forecast wind gusts. So again, we do expect to have a pretty good breeze as we go through the next couple of days. And you can see that we have especially southeastern portions of the state that could get with gusts up above 20 miles per hour at times. And you can see the whole state getting gusts 10 to 15 miles per hour at times. So again, that's not like a really heavy wind or anything like that, but at least be a nice little breeze in place, and occasionally get a nice little gust around 20 miles an hour. It'll be a kind of a breezy day in some spots, especially in the southeast. So with that, got a couple of impacts we'll start to watch with these dry conditions and a little bit windier. And so we're looking at the Alabama Forestry Commission issued yesterday a statewide fire danger advisory. So that will remain in effect until rainfall kind of eases the conditions a little bit. So basically here just means that the combination of the drought, so the dry weather we've had recently with other factors is making it where they're urging residents to avoid burning anything for now, and if it's necessary, take strict safety measures for that. So you want to be extra careful if you have to burn anything, but if you can put off burning leaves or wood or whatever it may be for a period of time, then that would be best due to the issues out there with the drought that's starting to happen. And especially the next couple of days, looking at our forecast fire weather product here, the combination of the dry weather and then the wind coming in is going to exacerbate things a little bit. Now, this isn't getting into extreme levels, but you can see some of this yellow here is moderate fire weather forecast. Eventually, if we continue to be dry, we might start to see some of these higher levels here. So this will be a product we'll keep an eye on if there are big days where things are looking more dangerous as far as fire weather. But again, not too bad for the next couple of days, but something to be more aware of as we continue to stay dry over the course of the next week or two. The other impact is along the coast mainly, with the heavier wind over the next day or two, or the next several days. We'll have a small craft advisory over the coastal waters, so probably should avoid getting out in small boats out on the Gulf for the next several days. And then also rip current alerts or rip current statement from basically Destin, Fort Walton back towards the Alabama Gulf Coast. So if you're at the beach, you probably want to take it easy and kind of try to stay out of the water as much as possible, but due to those rip currents. Now looking at our a little bit longer range, or at least a few days out here, as we get into the weekend, we start to see some activity down in the Gulf and might have a few showers kicked off in the northern part of the state as we get into Saturday, but that still should be very isolated. Better chances would be on the southern end of the state. And then as this trough starts to try to develop in the Gulf and move towards the coast, you can see better chances of some maybe heavier rain in spots, especially right along the beach, but even some better chances of rain a little bit further inland as well as we get into Sunday morning. So this system right here certainly can help bring in a decent amount of rainfall in the southern, far southwestern part of the state. But again, you can see the northern part of the state stays very dry, and we don't expect a lot of help up there. Looking at the rainfall outlook, this kind of illustrates that. So we expect to be around 2 inches potentially over the next week in Gulf Shores, right there at the coast. But as you move inland to Mobile, only about 3/4 of an inch, and it doesn't take long before you're only at 1/4 of an inch or less as you move further to the north. So again, the main chance of anything decent as far as rainfall really the next week is down in the far southwestern corner of the state, which will be good for them, but it'd be nice if we could get it to kind of spread up north a little bit further. All right, here is your 7-day forecast for North Alabama. Again, we stay dry, expect to kind of top out in the mid to upper 80s today, and we'll expect a little bit of a lowering of the temperature with that drier air mass in place over the next couple of days, so maybe only low 80s for forecast highs of the next as we get into late week and into the weekend, with those lows getting down in the 50s, and just a small uptick of chances of rain for the northern part of the state as we get into late weekend, early next week. See a bigger difference there as we move into South Alabama, where you can see 40% chances of rain and maybe a few thunderstorms as we get into early next week or late weekend, early next week, with that system trying to start to move in from the south and the Gulf. So that'll be something that we'll watch there, but you'll see again, have a little bit of a cool down over the next couple of days at the coast. Not quite as pronounced though as in the northern part of the state. That's your forecast for now. We'll have another one coming up later on the Alabama Weather Network.